Hello, my name is Michelle. I'm a personal trainer and yoga teacher in the Boston area. In this video, I'm going to share with you a nice slow flow practice that really focuses on activating your core and working your whole body. We're going to need a little block for this practice. If you don't own a block in your home practice, I recommend grabbing like a pillow, like a throw pillow, a small ball, kind of anything within that kind of shape that you can find. We're going to get started with this. Let's go ahead and come onto our mat. We're going to start on our back. You can sit the block or whatever you have for your prop off to the side. And just draw your soles of your feet together. Allow your knees to open up nice and wide, coming to this round angle shape. If you feel any tension or pulling in the hips that is uncomfortable, you can always prop your legs up with the block or pillows. Now take one hand to your belly. Take the other hand to your chest. Allow your eyes to soften. And connect with your breath. Take a deep inhale through your nose and a slow exhale out your mouth. Continue with that nice easy breath a few more times, filling your breath up as you inhale. Slow exhale out the mouth and just relax your jaw. Soften the throat by letting the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. As you let go of your day, you start to arrive here in this moment. Listening to the sound of your breath. Now as you breathe, can you breathe in through the nose and back out through the nose? Gently drag the breath along the back of your throat, cultivating the sound of Ujjayi pranayama. Allow the breath to be nice and even. Even long inhale, matched with an even long exhale, emptying your breath completely, pausing at the bottom of the exhale. As you inhale, fill the body up with your breath and pause for a moment at the top of the inhale. Check in with the mind. Observe the movement of the mind without getting caught up in any of its thoughts, stories, or to-do lists. Redirect that awareness back to your breath and into the feelings and sensations in your body. As your body starts to take this shape, and feel that pull of gravity towards the earth. Just allow yourself to surrender. Surrendering into this moment. As you create this space to connect more deeply with yourself, observing things, thoughts as they come and go. We'll begin our movement practice, our asana practice, and just allow it to be smooth, to flow, and just to observe. Let's slowly draw the knees in toward one another. Start to draw those knees into your chest. You can take one hand on top of each knee and just gently rock a little side to side. Just feeling, just listening. and observing. When we come to our mat, we allow ourselves just to become watchers of ourselves, knowing that every day is different. All right, let's slowly start to bring those knees in towards the chest. We'll slow that rock down, hug the knees in toward your chest, and then we'll make some circles with the knee. We're going to bring the knees out. Let the knees start to shift away from your chest, keeping the hands right on your kneecaps. Draw the knees together, legs together, and then pull them back into your chest. We'll do that a few more times, drawing big circles with the knees. We start to feel a little bit of warmth right around the hip creases. And we'll slow some of that movement down. And then we'll bring those knees together. We'll grab that block and put it between the legs. We're going to put it right between the legs, just below the knees. And you're going to create that nice 90-degree bend in the knees. And flex the ankle, spread the toes. You're going to feel how that starts to really activate the muscles of the legs. That's what you want. You want to squeeze in, and you can start to feel the inner thighs start to work here. You want to really hug in, and then I want you to start to bring that awareness to your back of your body. I want you to feel both hips landing evenly on the floor, a nice natural curvature of the spine, right? So you want to feel the back hugging to the floor, but there's that very small lift right in the lower back, very small curvature of the spine. And now you can interlace your hands behind your head. Let your head really rest down into your hands and elbows wide. Take a deep inhale through your nose. As you exhale, exhale out the mouth. Curl your head and shoulder blades up off the floor. Chin slightly tucking down. Hold at the bottom of the exhale. And then as you inhale, you're going to lower just a little bit. Head hovers just above the ground. And then exhale. Empty the breath, lift and hold at the top of the exhale, or the bottom of the exhale, and then inhale. And again, exhale. So moving nice and slow. If you want to go a little bit faster, that's fine. But make sure that you're staying connected. Can you keep squeezing your block? Can you pull your belly button back towards your spine? Knit and hug your ribs in and down, making sure they're not flaring and there's no rocking in the back. No rocking in the hips. You should start to be feeling the rectus abdominis, those six-pack muscles right along the front of your abdomen, firing up here. Mine are getting nice and strong. But I can also feel that midline all the way through the inner thighs and legs. So that's really working that deep core. All right, 2 more. All right, last one. And then we'll lower down. You can lower your feet and your head down towards the ground. Bring your arms right by your sides, palms facing down. Pull the shoulders to the floor. We're going to lift the hips into bridge. Keep squeezing the block. You stay with the block here. Just stay connected, again, with that midline, that deep core. Right? Oftentimes, when I'm working in teaching class, when I'm working with clients, the knees pop out. Right? So notice if that's a tendency that you have. That was what I had for quite some time. We're going to lift and hold it here just a little bit longer. Try to press down through the tips of your shoulders. Broaden the collarbone. Reach those hips up towards the sky. You should feel your glutes firing up, your butt muscles getting nice and hot. And then we'll slowly lower all the way back down. Now we're going to do that one more time. So lift the feet up off the ground. Flex the ankles, spread the toes, squeeze the block. And when you're ready, lift as you exhale. Pause for that moment at the top of the exhale, and then inhale. So you really feel the belly sucking in and back. Some people call it the vacuum. Getting that core nice and active. Full exhale. Make sure you give it that good squeeze and hold. Don't rush it. Now sometimes we work fast, but important time every now and again to really slow it down. Last one. Lower your head, lower your feet to the floor, bridge pose, lift those hips. Press the hands down towards the floor. If you like, on the second round, you can interlace the hands behind the back, walk the shoulders in towards one another. Press the knuckles down to the floor. Again, squeeze the block. Pressing down through all four corners of your feet. Can you really feel your big toe mound pressing down? You can lift all 10 toes and press the pinky toe mound down. Pressing down through the heel, both the inner heel and outer heel. Create that strong foundation. And then we'll release nice and slowly rolling your upper back, your mid back, and your lower back all the way down to the floor. All right, now we can go ahead and finally get ready to draw those knees into your chest or rock our way up. Keeping that block there is going to keep that continual reminder to squeeze into that midline. We're going to finish balancing in this boat pose. Option to keep the hands behind the legs. Let go. Maybe the shins come parallel. Maybe the legs are straight. Make sure your back is long. Belly is able to pull in nice and tight. There should be no strain or pain. So make sure you're choosing the right option that works for you. Take one more big inhale. Exhale. You can let go of the block. Let's cross the ankles and shift towards our hands and knees. Coming into a tabletop position here. All right, we're going to inhale into that Swayback Cow. Exhale, round the spine. Empty the breath. You can feel those abs are still on fire. You can really feel them activating as they hug up and in towards the back of the body. And then inhale, come into that Swayback Cow. Let the elbows soften, lift the gaze. Exhale, round. Let that roll. That spinal roll from your tail up through the crown of your head. Creating that nice fluid flow. And again, let this be that movement meditation. Connecting your breath and your movement together. All right, let's slow some of that movement down till you come into a nice flat back. We'll curl the toes under. Lift and hover the knees up off the floor. Push the floor away. Floating tabletop. All right, hug the belly back towards the spine. Press through your hands and start to push the floor away, pressing your belly back towards your thighs. Keep the knees really bent as we come into downward facing frog. All right, we want to bend the knees a lot. Try to see if you can reach your belly back towards your thighs. Start to lift the navel up and in towards the spine. Straighten those arms nice and long, and then you can start to pedal the heels. Let's stretch right heel to the floor, keeping the left knee bent. And then switch. Continue pedaling those heels. And as we start to warm up into that down dog is not about having straight legs and touching your heels down to the floor like you might see in some pictures. Magazines. It's really about finding a nice long spine and deep crease in hips. So now as you start to settle into a more still downward dog, just let your knees bend a little bit. Look back at your feet. Make sure your toes are pointing straight ahead and your knees are tracking over your toes. You don't want the knees to be buckling in or out. We want to keep them right in line. And then as you straighten the arms, you push the floor away. Push the floor away. Slowly start to release the heels towards the floor without compromising the spine. So if you notice as you reach the heels towards the floor to find that nice stretch in the legs, notice if you've compromised the spine and turned around in your back. If you did, re-bend the knees And keep exploring your down dog and let it be different and unique every time you come in. We always learn more about our body, and we watch how our body evolves and changes, and really how every day is different. All right, let's go ahead and slowly round our spine forward, coming into a plank, hovering in your plank, thinking of broadening the collarbones, lifting the low belly, and then as you exhale, bend the knees to hover, push back towards that downward frog into your downward dog as you stretch your heels to the floor. Roll up onto the toes, roll the spine, rolling from the tail all the way up to the crown of the head, hollow out the abdomen, lift the low belly, broaden the collarbones. Again, bend the knees, tilt the tail, stretch it back. Really think of working from the feet now. Push through those feet, push through the ball of the foot as you come forward to your plank. Bend the knees, tilt the tail, stretch it back, downward facing dog pose. Nice, one more time, we're gonna roll it forward. Staying in your plank position, keep pushing the floor away. Right? Can you get those hips in line with your shoulders? I can look at myself here in the mirror and make sure that my thighs are really firming up and I'm squeezing my butt muscles really tight. My glutes squeeze really tight. Feel the shoulder blades hugging in and down on those ribs. But keep pushing the floor away. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, can you lower slowly one piece of the floor? Option to lower your knees to the ground first. Great, press the tops of your feet down to the ground. Hug those elbows back. Inhale, lift your heart, little baby cobra. Exhale to lower, lengthen the spine as you lower down. Again, inhale, coming up, keep pressing down through the tops of the feet. Squeeze your glutes really tight. This is going to protect the muscles in your lower back. Two more. Inhale as you come up. Pause the top of the inhale. Hug your elbows in. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as you exhale. Lower down. One more time. Inhale. You'll come up. And I want you to stay up on this last one. Holding it here for the exhale. And as you exhale, can you press down through your feet? Can you broaden your collarbone, lengthen up through your crown of your head? And slowly lower down to the floor. Nice work. Push up through hands and knees. Round your spine like a cat and stretch your hips towards your heels. Child's pose stretch. Actively reach your fingertips towards the front of the mat as you stretch your hips back towards your heels. Full breath in. Full breath out. All right, inhale, coming up to all fours. Curl your toes under. Lift those hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. Again, find that down dog. So you look back at your feet. A little bend in the knees. Press through the hands. Long spine, deep crease in hips. Now let's slowly walk our feet all the way up towards the front of your mat. Nice little, one little step at a time. As you ride to the front of your mat, let your feet be hip width apart. Bend the knees and grab for opposite elbows. Ragdoll forward fold. Let your head hang. Gently sway your torso side to side. Shaking your head a little yes, a little no. Making sure you're truly letting go. Let the cheeks soften. Let them puff up into your eyes. And now start to feel the floor underneath your feet. Rock a little forward and back. Start to again find where those four corners are on your feet. As you settle to the center, release the fingertips down towards the floor. Inhale, lift the spine halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Releasing your crown of your head. Stretching your legs a little bit longer. Chin to chest. Again, inhale, can you come up halfway? Slide your hands up your shins to your knees. As you come up halfway, pull the shoulders away from your ears and then slowly folding forward. Again, hinging from the hips, exploring the straightening of the legs. One more time, inhale, coming up halfway to lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sitting into your chair, let your hips sit back and down, reaching your hips back. Lift your arms up and start to reach the tail down to the floor, zipping the navel up towards the spine. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Start to really settle again, down into the heels, down into the feet. Gently hugging in towards this imaginary block. Let's take a deep inhale. And exhale, stand, release the hands down by your sides. And again, a little rock forward and back. I want you to really find where that center is. A little bend in the knees you can feel for your hips. Just kind of feeling where your hips are in space. Great. Once you settle in, finding that Tadasana, mountain pose. Just let your arms rest by your side. Inhale, circle, sweep those arms up overhead. Reach up, get nice and long. Exhale, fold, hinging at your hips. Bend those knees. Inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold all the way. Inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Bend your knees, sit your hips back, and step your right foot back for a long, long lunge. All right, you're going to slowly lower your right knee to the floor, making sure your left knee is stacking over your heel. All right, and then slowly start to lift your gaze. You might get light onto your fingertips. Maybe take your hands to your thigh. Just feel the front of that right hip flexor. Just give it a little bit of time, a little bit of breath. And you can feel how both of your hips are squared towards the front. So really paying even special attention to that right hip coming forward as your left hip drops back and down. All right, let's bring those fingertips to the floor. Back toes are curled under. Lift your back knee and straighten your front leg, coming into a pyramid shape. Now your back heel is not going to touch. That's okay. This is a nice wide pyramid shape. Keep pressing down through your front foot. Use that push off the front foot and try to keep lengthening your left hip back as you square your right hip forward. Release your crown of your head down, chin to your chest. And now let's move with the breath. Push off your back foot. Inhale, come forward to your lunge. We're going to keep the knee lifted this time. Exhale, hips back, fold. Inhale, coming forward to your lunge. And exhaling, flowing back. Just moving, flowing with your breath. Nice and slow. There's no rush. Next time you come forward to your lunge, plant your hands down onto the floor. Lift that left leg up and back. One-legged dog. Sending that left leg up nice and long, and then open your hip, bend your knee. Nice, and then we'll stretch it back up towards the sky. Keep reaching it up towards the sky as you square your hips. Try to square that left hip down towards the floor. Flex your ankles, spread the toes. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, bring your left knee towards your left elbow. Hold it there. Try to squeeze it up. Now see, can you switch it over to the right side? Hold it, hug it in. Inhale to the left. Inhale to the right. Hold, exhale. And inhale to the left. One more time. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the left. And then step your foot right between your hands. Warrior one, back heel pivots to the floor. Sweep both arms up towards the sky. Keep squaring your right hip forward, left hip drawing back. Here we'll release the left arm down. Look down the left arm. Turn your left thumb down. Palm faces back behind you. And then reach your hand behind your back, trying to reach around for that right hip. Right here, now you can feel your hand. When your hand is behind your back, you start to level the hips with one another. Reaching your fingertips up towards the sky. Firm your right thigh. Reach your right fingertips towards the front so you create this long diagonal line from that right heel pressing to the floor all the way out through your right fingertips. Core is strong, release the arms down. Inhale, reach it back up. We're going to just move with the breath here. So inhaling as you come forward, lowering the arm down as you reach it back. All right, inhale, reach it up. Sorry, the exhale is as you come forward. It doesn't matter too much where the inhale is or the exhale, as long as it feels good in your body. Last one. We're going to finish here reaching that right arm up towards the sky, and then we're going to straighten that left leg. Pyramid again, placing your right hand down. All right, you can feel your hand on that low back, so you can feel, can you level your hips? Sometimes it means stepping your back heel in a little bit. This time in this version, your right heel is rounding down towards the floor. Start to get light on the fingertips, the right fingertips, and start to turn your gaze over towards the left. Maybe seeing, can you look at your left shoulder? Can you keep pulling that left hip back? Maybe you start to explore that twisted triangle, reaching the left arm up. Keep that right heel down. Both feet are evenly pressing the floor, all four corners. Exhale, release your hand down towards the floor. Step back into your plank position. Hold that plank, firm your quads, squeeze your glutes. Squeeze and hug those ribs, knitting them in. Feel that nice hover. Option to lower your knees to the floor if you need to. We're just going to lower halfway, elbows hugging in. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's bend the knees, look forward towards the front of your mat. Jump or step your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale as you lift your spine halfway. Exhale, fold all the way. Release your crown of head, chin to chest. Inhale, sitting into your chair, hips low, arms up. Pull your belly in tight. Exhale, stand, hands to heart. Ground down through your feet. Second side, inhale, circle, sweep your arms out and up. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold, hinging at your hips. Inhale, lift the spine halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold all the way. Inhale, lift up halfway, bend your knees, step your left foot back. Big step back with that left foot, lower the knee to the ground. Pause for a moment. Find that position that works for you as you release the front of that left hip. So again, keep thinking of pulling now this right hip back as that left hip comes forward. Notice if it's trying to kind of tip and compensate. Right? We'll get ready to curl those back toes under, lift the back knee up, and then straighten your front leg. Pyramid. Inhale as you come forward to your lunge. Exhale, hips back. Hug that right hip back, left hip forward. Yeah, just move with your breath here. Gently teasing the hamstrings open. Last one, we're going to go ahead and finish up in your lunge. Take your time. We're going to bring that right leg back to that one-legged dog. Open the hip, bend the knee, press evenly through your hands so you can look up your right side of your body. You can see that right leg disappearing behind you. And then we'll start to straighten the leg, square your hips so you feel that right hip turn. Flex the ankle, spread the toes, take a deep inhale. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow and hold. Inhale to the left. Exhale, right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. One more time. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. And step your foot right between your hands. Warrior one, back heel to the floor. Pivot down nice and strong. Ground through your feet as you rise up. Square those hips and shoulders forward. Reach your right arm out. Look down your right arm. Turn the thumb down. Palm faces back behind you. Tuck your hand behind your back. Reach for that left hip. See if you can feel that left hip turning, squaring forward. Now, it's never perfect. It's just that idea of turning the hips forward, meanwhile pressing the foot back towards the ground. Maybe that means shortening your stance if you need to, if it feels awkward, but feel free to adjust. You'll start to feel that release in the tension in the right shoulder. And now we'll move. Long diagonal line first and hold. Hover out over that right thigh. Now release the right arm down and back. Inhale, sweep it forward. Once it shadows your ear, you inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, long. Release the arm down and back. Inhale, sweep it forward. Once it shadows the ear, inhale, lift your heart up. 2 more. Lifting it up. We finish reaching your arm up. Straighten your front leg. Keep squaring those hips forward. Pull that right hip back, left hip forward. Now stick your butt back. Micro bend in that right knee. Long spine as you hinge from your hips forward. Releasing your left fingertips down to the floor or to a block. Try to even out the hips so you can feel the hips even. And then you start to turn your gaze toward your right shoulder. And maybe you reach that right arm up towards the sky. That's optional. Sometimes it just feels good to have that nice release of the hand on the back. It really does feel good for the neck and shoulder. Get really tight there. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, release your hand down to the floor. Step back into your plank position. Hold it nice and strong. Fire up every little muscle in your body. Really think of the feet this time. Can you activate the feet by spreading your toes, all 10 toes on the floor? Really find that pinky toe pressing and smudging down on your mat, and then lift the heels up. Firm the quads, firm the kneecaps. Option to lower to your knees. We're going to lower just halfway, chaturanga, elbow squeeze in. Inhale, up facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Push the floor away. Lengthen up through the spine. And pedal your heels. Alright, so let's look forward to the front of your mat. Bend your knees. Jump or step your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift the spine halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold all the way, releasing your crown of your head to chest. Inhale, sinking into your chair, hips low, arms up. And stand up, hands to your heart, grounding down through your feet. Inhale, sweeping both arms up towards the sky. Reach up, interlacing your fingers overhead. Point your finger towards the sky. Feel those arms right by your ears. Take a big inhale. Ground down through your feet and lean over to the right. Keep pressing down through your left foot. Keep that left shoulder high, left shoulder back. Inhale, coming to the center. Exhaling to the other side. Ground. Press that right foot. Maybe look up over that right arm. Inhale, coming back through the center. Exhale, release your arms down. You can circle your wrists, open and close your hands. Now, sitting into your chair, I want you to take your hands to your heart. And, sometimes it's good to wiggle the feet together. Squeezing those legs together. Sit those hips back a little bit more. Keep your chest and your heart lifted. Now, explore twisting towards the right. Maybe you hook your elbow on your knee. Trying to bring the sternum closer towards your thumbs. Work within a comfortable range for your back, right? We don't want it to pull on it so much that it causes pain. It should be totally pain-free. This should feel good. Keep lifting your belly in nice and tight. Inhale, come back to the center. Keep pulling that belly in. Exhale, you take it to the left. All right, sit those hips back. Gentle pressure. Squeeze those legs in. Press down through your feet. Great. Inhale, come back to the center. Lift your chest. Stay in that chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up halfway to lengthen. And exhale, jumping or stepping back into your plank pose. Chaturanga, elbow squeeze in. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Push the floor away. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step your right foot right between your hands. Crescent lunge, staying on the ball of your back foot. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Keep turning your hips and shoulders towards the front of your mat. Find that lift here. So again, that left hip is going to want to flare open, but I want you to think of pulling that left hip forward, squeezing your inner thighs nice and tight. Exhale, hands to your heart, lean forward. You're going to hook your elbow across your knee, hands to heart. Now, if this doesn't work for you, another option is to bring your hand down to the floor, right, and explore reaching that right arm up. Right, the kind of the trick here is squeezing the inner thighs in towards one another. And that really means pushing off that back foot. So try not to let that back heel get lazy. Really lift, activate, and get strong through those ankles. Inhale, come up through Warrior Two. Open up, move for Crescent Lunge and then into Warrior Two. One step ahead. As you start to shift into Warrior Two, you want to feel that right sit bone pulling in and under, like it's reaching for that left arch of your foot. At the same time, you keep reaching your right knee towards the center of your toes. You start to feel the hips open and keep lengthening down through your tail. Let's slowly lower our right elbow down to our knee. Nice and gentle. Reach the left arm over towards the front of the mat. Gaze turns up, chin tucks right underneath that left under armpit. Keep spiraling the heart open, bringing that left shoulder back. Right now, releasing tension in neck and shoulders. We're going to reach the fingertips towards the back of the mat, and gaze is going to go down. As you reach towards the back of the mat, can you turn the palm to face down? Right, so you feel that spaciousness in the left side of the neck and shoulders. Now, inhale, we're going to reach it up. The gaze is going to slowly go up as you reach your fingertips towards the front. You feel that rotation of the arm and the shoulder joint. So palm turns down. Again, exhaling, reach it back. Gaze goes down. Strong legs here. And reach it to the front. Gaze up. Last one. Exhale, reach it back. Gaze down. Turn the thumb down. Slide the left hand behind your back, reaching for the crease of your right hip, right? So now you feel your hips in space. Can you find Warrior Two? Ooh, can you get that left hip back to get to your elbow, right? Reaching your right hand forward, look over your right shoulder, keep reaching your right knee forward, flip the palm up, reverse your warrior, keep the knee reaching forward. Ooh, feel that right side body open, nice and open. Great. Inhale as you come back through Warrior Two. We're going to straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Reaching forward, lower the fingertips down. And then you recheck that left shoulder. Look over at that left shoulder. Can you pull that left shoulder back like you're leaning it back against the wall behind you? Option to keep the hand behind the back. Option to let your gaze come down to the floor, especially if you feel that can release some tension in the neck and shoulders. Even if you're really used to that full pose of triangle, trying something different and going for a little bit more of that therapeutic approach to releasing that tension in the neck and shoulders, finding a sense of softness and ease within what is very strongly happening in your legs, right? All right, let's bend that right knee. Inhale, come back up to Warrior Two. Nice and strong here. Let's cartwheel your hands all the way down to the floor. Step back into the plank. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog, push the floor away. Inhale, left leg lifts. Even pressure through both hands. Exhaling, knee to nose, round the spine, step your foot between your hands. Crescent lunge, inhale, reach both arms up. Oop, almost lost my balance. Again, feel the hips turning forward. You know, can you really feel that right pinky toe on the ground? That little guy should be pressing into the floor, activating the quad, lifting that kneecap up and in, and you start to open your hips. Strengthen and open the hips, I should say. Great, let's slowly bring the hands to your heart, leaning forward, twisting to the left, hook the elbow across the knee. Think of lifting that low belly in and try not to let that right hip kind of drop all the way for that twist. That right hip stays squaring to the floor and it's about that upper torso moving. And that's going to help you to create that balance so you don't tip right. It's kind of that counter balance. Great. Inhale, reach both arms up. Open up to Warrior Two. Whew. These legs get strong. We hold these poses long, right? This really creates that stability. So again, pulling that left sit bone under, reaching for that right heel. Let's slowly, lightly lower the left elbow down. Reach the right arm over. Turn the palm down. Turn the gaze up, tucking your chin like you're giving a little sniff towards your armpit. And then reopen that right rib. Great, now fingertips reach back, palm down, gaze down. And then reach back to the front, gaze up. Reaching to the front. Gaze down, reach back. One more time, reach it forward, releasing that tension, create that long neck. That's why we lift that head up, tucking that chin in and down. And now we'll reach back, turn the thumb down, tuck the hand behind the back, reach for the left crease of your hip. Check that right shoulder, get that shoulder open so you can really feel that openness in that right shoulder and pectoral muscle. Okay, let's bend the left knee. Find that warrior two, feel those hips open. Don't let that right hip come forward. Flip the palms reverse. Woo, feel those legs. All right. Inhale, coming back through warrior two. Now we're ready for triangle, right? So reach it forward. If you need to shorten your stance, step that back foot in. I always kind of need to sometimes for triangle. All right, you can lower your hand down to shin, ankle or block. Recheck your right shoulder, make sure it didn't drop. Feel the hand behind the back. You want to feel like your back, like your left hip is really pulling under your right. All right, option to lift the arm or option just to let the arm stay behind you, the gaze go down. Nice, keep pressing through your feet. Find that sense of strength and ease here. Releasing the tension. Great, let's inhale, bend that left knee, reach your left arm forward. And cartwheel your hands down to the floor. Step it back, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Push the floor away. A little pedal of the heels. Notice the subtle shifts in the body. Let's look forward towards the front of the mat. Bend your knees. Jump or step your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale as you lift your spine halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold all the way. Release your crown of your head. Inhale, sitting into your chair. Sit those hips low. Reach your arms up. Belly in. Exhale, stand up. Nice and tall. Lengthen through the spine. Nice work. Now we're going to work with a little balancing here. You're going to bring your right knee up. You're going to place your hands down towards the top of your right thigh, like you're pushing down on your thigh. And I want your thigh to resist and keep pushing up towards your hands. So you start to feel a little bit of isolation. You can feel how that can create a sense of lock and strength in that whole core, because it starts from the feet, up through the inseam of the legs, up through that core center. So pull the belly in, but keep the chest lifted and long. Great. Warrior three, you're going to extend your right leg back and open your arms out wide, keeping those hips and shoulders squaring towards the front. Holding that warrior three. Now inhale, come back to that high knee. Balance, balance, balance. That's the transition is the tricky part. Stay with it. We're going to come back to warrior three one last time. Kicking that heel up and back, lift your chest. And now let's slowly bend the left knee, lower the left toes down to the floor. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky, finding that crescent lunge. Open up to warrior two. Place that back heel down towards the floor. Keep bending that left knee. Pull that left sit bone under. So you want to feel as if you're going to lean back against the wall. We're going to get ready to transition into half moon from here. So I want you to think of this as kind of like a cartwheel. So lift the left arm high, right? We're going to try not to use momentum, so it's a very slow cartwheel, a slow-mo cartwheel. And then you're going to slowly reach it forward, right? Maybe you reach your fingertips to the floor or that block. Slide that right foot in, and then maybe you float that right leg up, right? We want to flex the ankle, all those 5 toes, that right foot point towards the side wall. So you want to feel, you can even take your hand on your hip, Feel where your hips are in space. Start to feel that balance. As you get stronger, you let go of the floor and you lift your gaze up towards the sky. Just take it one step at a time. And know that every day is different, especially with balancing. Right, now we're going to slowly bend your left knee. Step it way back to warrior two. Flip the palms. Let's reverse your warrior. Whew. And cartwheel your hands all the way down to the floor. Step back into your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Breathe. Nice. Looking forward towards the front of your mat. Bend your knees. Jump or step your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale, coming up halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair. Sit those hips low. Reach your arms up. And stand up, hands to your heart, ground down through your feet. Inhale, circle, sweep those arms up. Exhale, high knee, lift that left knee high. Take your hand to the front of your thigh. Create that pressure, pushing it down as you lift up. Make sure those hips stay level and firm. This creates that stability in all those little detail muscles, all those stabilizers around your hips and your knees and your ankles. Warrior three, reach it back, reach it out. Nice and slow. Keep the chest lifted, keep the gaze on the horizon. Back to high knee. Hands to the knee. Push, pull, create that lock. Stay stable in that lock. One last time, warrior three, reach it back. Nice work. Big step back for your crescent lunge. So bend that right knee. Find the floor, find your balance, reach both arms up. Open it up, warrior two. Back heel to the floor. Pull that right hip under, look over that right shoulder. Preparation as we move towards that half moon. Reach your right arm up. Reach it forward, long, 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 and then slowly slide. Slide and lift. Flex the ankle, spread the toe. This is going to activate the leg muscles. Take the left hand to your hip. Feel where is your hip here in space. Feel the edges. Feel those moments where you almost fall over, but your body catches yourself because it's getting stronger and smarter. All right, one more big breath here. And slow step back. Whew. Light step back, flip the palms, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your hands all the way down to the floor. Step back to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Push the floor away. Breathe. Look forward to the front of your mat. Bend your knees. Jump or step your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift the spine halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your hips down into your chair. Reach your arms up and stand up, hands to your heart. Great, now we're going to work with a little bit of breath work, pranayama, and we're going to integrate this work into our deep core muscles, our pelvic floor muscles, our transverse abdominis, which is like a corset muscle that wraps around our torso. And this can be a really great way too. You can feel it's going to bring a lot of energy and light and life into your body. So if you're feeling a little sleepy, maybe that was a slow flow for you, it's going to pick up that energy. So we're going to come into a goddess squat. You can use the width of your mat. With a goddess squat, sometimes it's also called horse squats, which I think is really great because I want you to imagine that you're like literally riding a horse. You're not just kind of hanging out here. There's that sense of hugging in. So as your toes turn out, keep reaching the knees out over the toes, but at the same time you want to squeeze your glutes. And this is really good for a lot of the joints and the sacrum here and that low back. All right, keep reaching those knees out. Don't worry about how low you are. We're going to inhale, we're going to reach both arms up. And then as you exhale, you're going to empty your breath. Lift your belly button up and back. So this is with that vacuum lock as you lift it in nice. You can take your hands to your knees and push into your knees, creating some traction in your spine. You can lean forward here a little bit and lift that low belly up and in, holding it up towards the back of your body. All right, so it should feel like a lot of work. You're not holding your breath necessarily, but you're really holding and lifting that low abdomen up and in. Okay, last one. Exhale out. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, release the hands down. So visual is always good. I'm going to kind of show you what I'm doing with my belly just by kind of lifting my shirt up here so you can see what's going on with my abdomen here. I'm really lifting, hollowing out the abdomen, and I'm going to hold that exhale, hold it for about 10 seconds. I mean, we don't want to pass out or anything like that. You can still take little breaths through your nose into the upper chest. So again, let's inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, bend the knees. Lift that belly button in. Press through. You can feel how that belly hugs back and in. Take one more breath. And then soften the belly. Release. Come back up. One more time. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, empty. Like a vacuum, you lift that low belly up and in. Traction the spine, release. Let's go ahead and inhale, straighten the legs. Let's just take the hands to the hips. We're gonna turn those toes in slightly. Little back bend as you lift your heart, lift your chest, exhale, fold. Hinging at your hips, release the hands to the floor. Crown of head to the ground and shake the head a little yes. And a little no. Just kind of observe the shift of your energy. As I said, that kind of work will really bring about a lot of energy to your body. It's a new one for since doing these videos, so I'll be coming back to it more and more throughout the month. The more you do it, the more you kind of understand what the heck is going on, right? Because you're probably thinking, what is she doing? We're going to go a little side to side. Make sure we get those inner thighs nice and open. And then we'll slow some of that movement down, come back to the center. One hand to each knee and push all the way up. Let's toe heel your feet all the way back in. Stepping to the front of your mat, feet hip width apart. Ground down through your feet. Inhale, circle sweep those arms out and up. And exhale, fold. Hinging at your hips, a little bend in the knees. Inhale, lift the spine halfway to lengthen. Exhale, jump or step your feet back. Flow through your vinyasa. And then we'll slowly lower down to our knees, coming into a tabletop position, creating that, again, that nice long spine, deep crease in hips. You're going to send your right leg back and your left arm forward. Reaching those opposite limbs away from one another. Now, tendency here is that we start to kind of let the belly drop and there's a big sway in the back. I want you to resist that by hugging your ribs and your abdominal muscles in. Create that big length. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, can you round the spine and hug the elbow to the knee? Push the floor away. Inhale, create that length nice and long. And again, exhale, round that spine, elbow to knee. Inhale, nice and long. Last one, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, nice and long. Reach it forward, reach it back. And now lower just your hand down. Keep that right leg lifted. You're going to cross that right leg behind the left, bringing that, scooping that left knee behind. And we're going to sit our hips back. All right, so we're coming into cow pose, Gomukhasana, or a variation of. So if this doesn't work right for you, you might have to straighten your bottom leg. All right, so that top knee crosses over, the bottom leg can be straight or bent. Now start to see, can you even out your hips just as best as you can? It's not going to be perfect. You giving it some time just to allow gravity to settle in and down. And as you do this, we're going to create that length up through the spine, shoulders over your hips. Let's go ahead and reach your right arm up towards the sky. You're going to reach that left hand for your elbow, bringing your hands to the middle of the lap back. Right. Option here, you can take the left hand, you can turn the thumb down, palm facing back behind you, and tuck your hand behind your back, trying to reach for the other hand. Now, if you can't grab a hold of the other hand, maybe it's too far away, you can always use your clothing to close that gap, just kind of grabbing on for whatever you can. And again, making sure you're able to sit up nice and tall, because sometimes we get in this position, we kind of round up, get all balled up again. So don't let yourself ball up, let yourself be long, let the spine be long. Feel the hips settling, feel that left shoulder opening. Slowly release the arms. You can circle them all around, and then we're going to come forward. So that feels really good. The shoulders are nice and open now. So you can uncross the legs, coming back into that tabletop position. Set yourself up nice and firm. Hug your belly in. Extend your left leg back. Reach your right arm forward. Big reach, nice and long. Exhale, round the spine, elbow to knee. Inhale, create that length. Find that stability. Core strong. Exhale, empty, round and hold. Full exhalation. Inhale, reach. Last one. Exhaling. Inhale, reach. Nice and long. Place your right hand to the floor. Cross that left leg back behind. Tuck the knee behind. Start to open that space between your feet. Sit your hips back. Again, options. Choose. Do you need to extend that bottom leg forward? Wiggle around a little bit until you feel those hips kind of finding some sense of evenness within sometimes an uneven space, right? One hip tends to be a little higher than the other, so you can feel like it's like a whole different body the second time around, right? So now we're going to bring that left arm up. So you want to have the opposite arm on top, so the opposite of the legs. So left arm up, grab for that left elbow, just get it right between the shoulder blades, then reach that right arm down and around. On this side, I can't reach, so I'm going to fill that gap up. I'm right-handed. That probably has something to do with it. Whew. Definitely more tight in that right shoulder. I'm try to sit up nice and tall, leaning your head back against that forearm. Notice where you can find that sense of ease within the effort of this pose. Every pose is different. It presents different energy, different feelings in the body. Let's slowly release, unwind those arms. We're going to bring those hands back behind you. You can extend your legs out in front of you. Make sure you're somewhere towards the middle of your mat as we get ready to come down to the floor. So first, just sit up nice and tall. You can grab onto your knees, both knees, feet bent, legs, knees bent, feet on the floor. Lift up through the heart, shoulders down. Reach your hands forward, and now slowly lower down, tucking the tail. Slowly lower, low back, mid back, and then upper back and shoulders coming onto the floor. All right, walk your feet back towards your hips. Get ready for your bridge, taking your arms by your sides, palms facing down towards the ground. Inhale, lift your hips up. Again, really grounding down through the feet. You can pull those shoulder blades towards one another. Don't feel like you have to shove them down away from your back. It's kind of a cue we used to use a lot in yoga, but it's not really good for the shoulders. You want to let them be a little bit more natural. Keep squeezing. Imagine you've got that yoga block. Remember at the beginning of the class, that yoga block. Right now we're going to slowly lower the back down towards the floor. And now you're going to hug your right knee in towards your chest. And then you're going to extend the left leg nice and long. A little bit of core here. You're going to curl your head and shoulders up off the floor, bringing your nose towards your knee. Now slide the hands in front of the knee. Press your hands down into your thigh as your thigh squeezes up towards your hand. Then float that left leg up. Point the toes. Hold it here. Feel the body shake. Make sure your belly isn't pooching forward. It's hugging back. Woo, good little quiver here. And then slowly release your head and shoulders, your leg. Hug that right knee in nice and tight. Take a deep breath in. Slow breath out. Now we're going to switch. We're going to hug that left knee in. Extend that right leg out. Just let it come all the way to the floor to start off with. Then we'll curl the head and shoulders up off the floor, bringing the nose towards the knee. Slide the hand in front of the thigh. Push the hand into the thigh. Lift that right leg. Point the toes in. Hold. Just isolate those muscles. Again, feel the muscles really start to hug in. Connect with that shake. Embrace the shake. Embrace that discomfort. And then lower into that comfort. You can lower that right leg down. Hug the left knee in. Great. Now let's hug that right knee in. We're going to rock those hips a little side to side. Massaging out the back. Start to circle the knees around. And as we come towards the end of class, I'd like you to do any last little movements that your body may be craving. Whether that's a twist or a happy baby pose. I want you to just listen in. And just take your time exploring. And once you feel settled, you can slowly start to shift your way into Shavasana, or any restful position of your choice. This could also be a seated meditation position or restorative position. Allow the eyes to soften. Relax all the features of your face. Allow the cheeks to soften. Relaxing the jaw by letting the teeth separate and the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Feel the tension release down along the back of the neck and shoulders. Feel the arms become heavy. Heavy, still, and limp. Release the muscles down along the back of the body. Feel the weight of the hips releasing towards the floor. And now soften the glutes. No longer squeezing. But let the glutes soften and feel the legs, the muscles down through the legs, just letting go. Feeling the legs become heavy, still, and limp. You begin to feel your whole body is relaxed and at ease. As the observer and watcher of self, you notice the thoughts as they come and go. Still no longer getting caught up in the thoughts, stories, or to-do lists. Observing the spaces between the thoughts. And And just simply notice what's happening. Without any judgment, without any expectations. Allow that sound to slowly reawaken your body as you wiggle your fingers, your toes, taking a deep breath in and swallow. Take your time as you slowly roll on over to your right side, coming into a fetal position, and just stay with that breath. Stay in the moment as you slowly and sleepily push your way up towards a comfortable seat of your choice. As you find your seat, finding the sit bones and lengthening up through the spine, you can draw the hands together in front of the heart. Once more observing, watching, and noticing the subtle shifts of your mind, your energy, and I like to salute to the light within you, the light within me, and the light within all living beings. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.